Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And welcome back to another spoiler review. And today we're talking about episode 5 of Lovecraft Country. This is called Strange Case. And wow, I would say, well, okay, I always forget to do this in the beginning. But I have to reiterate that this is a spoiler review.
Yes.
So you're not caught up to date, which by now I feel like everybody would be because we're usually a little bit late on these to release. But if you have not caught up to Lovecraft Country to at least episode 5, we would suggest that you exit out of this video, pause it, especially if you don't want to hear any spoilers, to watch the show and the episode first and then come on back and watch our kind of like spoiler talk on the episode. And with that said, you have been warned, and here we go with our spoiler review for episode 5. This is by far, I would say, the most gruesome.
Yes, this one.
And like graphic of all of them, and a lot of them, especially like the second episode in the woods with those weird monsters.
Yeah.
Was pretty gruesome.
That was actually the first episode with the monsters.
In the woods, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, Sundown, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen things getting torn apart, people getting torn apart, people getting shot, people getting eaten. But this one was, we sat down with our, like, we're going to have some pasta and lasagna kind of thing.
Sauce
and red sauce and everything. And the moment that it pretty much starts off with is after Rose has come back. Ruby, I'm sorry, Rose, sorry. Ruby has come back and she's starting to get all with her transformation, and he like dissects her and starts
to make it a little bit faster, I guess.
And I'm just like, we're both sitting there looking at our food, going, okay. This is a little rough to get through. It's going to be one of those episodes. But honestly, I loved the main focus of this episode, which is, what is it like if you're black, what is it like being white? And
also what it's like to be
male versus female in a society. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the previous episodes have had a lot of good social commentary, but this episode by far really had the most.
Yeah, and basically with William giving kind of her the I almost said transfiguration. That's not the fandom we're talking about here. I guess the potion or the elixir to kind of help her be inside someone else's skin. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting to kind of see her, first of all, being super uncomfortable, and kind of her realization of, she's like, I was actually treated, they're like, what, like you were white? And she's like, no, like a freaking human.
Like a human being.
Yeah.
Like she mattered.
Like she mattered, and they actually cared, and that's just so sad, but that it's true. Like they all experience that. People probably still experience that, unfortunately, today.
I know. It's just a good little highlight on so many different things that are going on in the world right now. And if it's still a problem now, it was exponentially worse back then. Not saying that it's not bad now, but I'm just like, it really hit on a lot of nerves and a lot of tensions and a lot of subject matter that we're still talking about today. It makes it so incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
And just how many layers there are to this onion of social, I guess, it's just kind of social status.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. It's to be black, to be white, to be a man, to be a woman, and
to be straight, to be gay, to be
transgender,
right? And I'm just like, wow, this episode really just did a really good job on kind of
touching a little bit on everything. And I know they mostly touched on Ruby's experience for this episode, and we'll come back to her in just a second because there's so much to talk about. But we did get a glimpse into Montrose and what happened after he slit Yahima's throat. And basically, and it's interesting that Letty really thought that they had let her go when Atticus understood, like he just disposed of her.
Yeah, well, Atticus knew right off the bat when he was like, the way his father was acting, the way Montrose was acting, and the fact that it was, he immediately knew, you son of a bitch, you killed her and you burnt the papers. Yep. You would think that they would be a little bit more, I guess, since we saw it last episode, him slitting her throat, it's one of those things that you're like, why would you leave him alone with her? kind of thing.
I'm telling you, it's because of that change of heart that he had moment with Atticus, so he felt safe and that it would be fine. And Atticus is probably thinking he's coming around to this. He wants to help us. We just had this whole experience being, going through all the booby traps and stuff like that, almost dying, because that can really bring somebody together and change your perspective on whatever your past relationship may be with the person.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I kind of figure Montrose is trying to protect, and Letty said it, trying to protect Atticus to not walk down this road, where Atticus is literally just want to try to figure things out. And there's a lot of interesting pieces because we saw his ancestor running out the burning Great White's house, murmuring some words, and we try to even go back to try to see what she mouthed, but we're not lip readers.
Yeah, so I'm just
nothing.
She knows the spell. She used magic, and I'm just like, she's the one who burnt down the previous mansion, kind of a thing.
I want Atticus to have more dreams of because in that dream, because he was dreaming, or nightmare, I guess you can call it, he was kind of chasing after her as Titus, I would imagine, because of what he was wearing and being kind of set on fire. And I kind of want, because he's so deep into this now, want some more dreams, either going back as Titus or other people and seeing through their eyes to kind of puzzle everything together. And him and Letty were trying to solve this language from the pages that they do not understand, and at the very end of the show we finally get just even a little bit more glimpse of who Jamie Chung is, and she is Gia, and he's kind of like, what are you? Hangs up, and I was like, and then the three
I
letters
warned you, why didn't you listen to me?
I was like, what this is just insane.
I think the 3 words, now I might be completely wrong, the 3 words that they deciphered was protect, suffer,
protection. Protect or protection, I think.
I think it was just protect, suffer, was it?
I think
and
so.
And die? So, I'm really curious. We only got that one word, but what made him think of, what made him see that, and made him call her? So...
He'd been calling her from the beginning.
But as soon as he saw this, something that was deciphered in the note, he immediately called Gia. So there's something that she probably said that was actually in this writing.
Yeah.
Or something that they had talked about. So I'm super excited to see that, because apparently it seems like next episode is all about that.
Yeah, finally.
Finally we get her.
6th episode. No, that's good. That's good. I wanna these stories to be fleshed out, because I really didn't think Ruby was gonna have a much bigger part other than being Letty's sister, and I love that they gave her this whole other kind of roadmap to go down.
Yes.
So we'll definitely see more of Ruby with Christina and William, which, by the way, Dustin was right, because he was like, they're never in the same place at once. And
it's like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
It totally makes sense that if he and she has the knowledge of making that elixir to kind of transform into somebody else, it would make sense that they would do one to, because Christina was like, okay, well, if I were a man, that I could be a part of these meetings and whatever. And the same thing for kind of showing Ruby, hey, what could you do with magic? And they had this really interesting conversation. And I wonder, because you did notice too at the very beginning when she first woke up as a white woman, it was Dell from episode 2 or 3, the woman who was kept keeping charge of that one.
We do have to go back.
No, it's her.
It's the same
her.
Actress.
It's definitely her. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Dell, but in this episode, she called herself Hillary. I'm not saying it's the same woman. I'm saying it's the same. She looks like her. Okay. So I wonder if when Christina / William, when they make the elixir, it would have to be somebody they know and have interacted with.
Maybe.
But it can't be a random person.
Maybe that means then William is someone that was someone that she knew. Yeah. Too. Yeah. So I'm curious.
Maybe she killed him, like you said. You said it too. You said that too.
What if William is actually her brother? Kind of a thing, because they look so freaking similar. They literally look like the male and female version of each other. Yeah. They look so similar.
Christina had called him a friend when they first were introduced to us in the show, but not everybody always tells the truth in this show. And that's what makes it So interesting. And then another thing was there was that little favor that William asked Ruby to do, and that was to kind of be like the maid to pass the tray around at the freaking Sheriff Lancaster's slimy guy. But she, what meant to place something for Christina as a favor. She placed that piece of stone with the symbol on it in his desk, but he was coming in, so she had to go and hide in the closet with that
guy
it was just so we don't know the purpose of it, but we saw the sheriff take off his shirt to change and see he said he was burning up, and the torso didn't look like it belonged to him.
Yeah.
Like it was something. So there is some more hocus pocus magic, voodoo, weird stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how he survives.
It gave me more Get Out vibes. Like
Jordan
Peele Get Out vibes.
At first I thought it was like he had like a whole bunch of tattoos on, but then I noticed that guy's neck looked the same as
in
the closet. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering,
as the sheriff.
Yeah, as the sheriff. So I'm wondering if he's like switching parts of himself out with the guy in the closet.
So
but then he also said a little bit of Frankenstein. You know what? That would make sense, and that would very much fit into this genre.
And I also feel like, because they're talking about like the episode is called like Strange Case, and it made me think of like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yes.
As far as, so like...
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious because they also... I didn't quite catch it. I have to go back and watch it. But they were talking in the office, the three guys with the
sheriff.
With the sheriff,
mm-hmm.
about, talking about the guy in the closet, did he tell you, or like, did he release the information about something? Kind of a thing. Did he say this? Like, they're questioning him while they're taking his body parts, kind of a thing, maybe.
Just torturing him, and oh my god. Did we talk about Montrose? We saw a little bit of Montrose's, I don't want to call it a secret, but I guess he kind of kept it hidden. But Tree kind of alluded to it mm-hmm. when they were in the museum, and it was revealed that, Montrose has a lover, and they have a whole scene in the club where he finally, and I forgot the guy's name, but they finally like share a kiss, and I was kind of like, are we ready to like embrace? But I know during that time, like, and being a black man probably is not easy.
Being a gay black man is even worse because then you get shunned even by people of your own skin tone.
Sad. So
it's kind of like, well, great, I'm fucked here and I'm fucked here.
There's just going to be a lot of developments down the line with all these characters. I'm so curious to see what's going to happen with Montrose and see if kind of how he's going to mend that relationship with Atticus, because Atticus beat the crap out of him. Like, if Letty hadn't intervened, he would have killed him, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think Atticus either would have beat him within an inch of his life, or he would have killed him.
I mean, it looked like it. His whole face was, like, swollen, and his eye was shut.
And even, it had that moment where Atticus was kind of, like, bandaging up his knuckles because he busted his knuckles on his dad's face.
People, yeah.
Well, and this is the thing, too. Now that we know that Montrose is gay, mm-hmm. then that puts a little bit more fuel to the fire that Montrose is not Atticus's dad.
Which is what George alluded to.
Yeah, with something that George... Yep. Mm-hmm. So
we won't talk about that, so that's,
Mm-hmm.
That's, oh my god, all the secrets. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh my god, okay, how the episode sort of ends, where you think Ruby's finally had enough, and she was like, all right, I've lived as a black woman, I've lived as a white woman, it's a shit show out there. And she was gonna let it go until Christina was like, magic is, you can free to do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, she went back to that manager's office, and who is like, from the very beginning, I was like, this guy's a slime ball. The way he was like hugging her when she came in to apply for the job, to the department store and everything. And before we get to that scene that we're about to talk about,
I clenched up. I was like,
we both did. But the scene where Hillary is talking to Tamara, who is the black girl who got the job before Ruby was able to apply for the job, and it's really interesting to see kind of Ruby getting so frustrated. She has all these accolades, all this education and knowledge and accounting courses that she was taking. She really was applying herself, and she was like, what do I have to do, because I was just a day late in applying. And so kind of seeing her take that frustration out on Tamara a little bit, and to kind of have to ring herself in and be like, what are you doing? Which leads us to that scene in the manager's office.
I was saying before that, just when Ruby as Hillary is going, and you have no idea what white people really have. It's some messed up shit.
And everybody was like
yeah, everyone starts
even Tamara was a little like, say what now? She's like, I'll just put these shoes the way you want me to put them. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that scene where she was like, I'm putting my notice because she saw the manager attempt to basically rape Tamara to kind of bully her into doing what he wants, and she was like, get away from me, you psycho, you sicko married man with kids.
Yeah.
So she went into the office and almost kind of like a repay, so she seduced him, tied him up, and then she took her stiletto in Italian means dagger, and
it
does?
Did not know that.
And just
right in the behind
to the song of
Red
the red bottoms, these murder shoes, Cardi B song. My goodness, how appropriate. I it's interesting how they sometimes mix in a more modern song, and this is the one I was like, as she's walking away and her skin's falling off and stuff, and their shoes of course bloody,
gruesome the way that they did those moments from the first one to the last, it's still just the way it shed it off, and the way she still had like a chunk of skin left on around her neck.
You know what, and on the reel, to kind of go behind the scenes a little bit, having all that chunky makeup applied to you does not feel good. It's sticky. It kind of stains a little bit, like, and it's on her hair. I imagine they're gonna have to. They must have let her like shower before she went home, because I don't know if like the set was somewhere I think they filmed in Georgia, so I'm guessing they put them up and just like
hosed them.
Just be like, I would be like, where's the hose?
Am I wrapped? Okay, good. I just want to like pressure wash everything. Just
hose me down. Yeah, sorry, that's just a little bit of like
I've had
actor insight.
some on this, like some makeup on, but I've never been covered head to toe in that kind of makeup.
I don't think I've been covered head to toe.
There was also a lot of nudity in this episode.
There was a lot of nudity.
A really hot scene
between
Letty and Atticus. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
HBO.
HBO. But we also kind of joked about, we're like, well, this is season 1. Season 2, they're toning it down, because they kind of did that for Game of Thrones.
They still had some.
As they went, no, they went on, but
it
was less of the lead characters, and it was more of the supporting characters.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, but, this fantastic episode. Really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to next episode 6. We're going to find out more about what happened while Atticus was in Korea. Super excited. So you guys
I'm a little curious too if Ruby and Christina kind of start to form
a little bit of alliance. I don't know. She might hate her.
I was going to say friendship, but the thing is that I think Christina is just too focused on like her goal, getting what she wants.
I mean, she already had Ruby plant something in that guy's office. Yeah. And she even used William's name. She was kind of like, that's William's rightful lodge, and it's the same thing she did with her dad.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. She has
her own motivations.
She's got a plan. Nobody's going to get in her way, and she's just going to use people until she can't use them anymore.
No room for friends.
Not when you're trying to, I guess, get to your ultimate goal, whatever that may be.
Which is taking over the world.
Well, you guys, that's it for the spoiled reviews. Thank you so much for hanging out with us during all the spoiler talk. Let us know what your favorite moments were for episode 5 of Lovecraft Country. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.